I'm Janette Spiezio. I am a designer, maker, entrepreneur, and owner of Sustainable Haus Mercantile here in Summit, New Jersey. We are a zero waste refill store. I'm a first-generation American. I've been living a very sustainable life most of my life, but I would say probably about 5 years ago I really took it to a whole new level. I started working farmers markets. I started making a couple of products. I made a laundry detergent from scratch. I learned how to make soap and detergent. And it was all about better ingredients. I looked at my laundry detergent and I always bought the green ones, but I couldn't understand the ingredients and it just drove me nuts. And after hours of trying to figure out was it safe or not, I switched over and started making it. You know, we used to use paper napkins, and I decided I wanted to use cloth napkins every day, like all the time. And so we started making napkins out of used fabrics, and before you knew it, I had a whole product line of things, and it all stemmed from I wanted better choices in my house. So I think when people are thinking about living more sustainably, it doesn't have to be expensive or hard. It's going to be a little bit less convenient because we're so used to, as a society, having a single-use, disposable set of products that we can easily get by ordering them online or at big box stores. So those concepts do sort of have to kind of shift, and that is going to create a little bit more effort. But we think that there are plenty of ways to do it. So zero waste is an interesting term, and it's sort of helpful to explain it a little bit. In the US, the average person generates 4.5 pounds of trash every single day. So a family of 4, 18 pounds. And it could be what you put in your waste can at home. It could be the fact that you're out to dinner at a restaurant creating waste, but it's just everywhere. And so the idea of zero waste, for the people that are really hardcore, it really means no trash, right? You don't have any trash in your trash can. In fact, you don't need a trash can. And you really produce almost no recycles. However, for the average person, that's really hard because we live in this society, in this world, in this economy where it's just so difficult to do that. So we like to think of it as a journey. Zero waste is really a journey to reduce your waste. Also with zero waste, there's sort of, in our opinion, 4 tenets. There's no packaging, no plastic, the least amount of toxins, or basically clean ingredients, and the least amount of impact from a carbon perspective. And it's really wrapping all those things into it. So we do think about all those components as we are sourcing our products and as we are purchasing as consumers. So when transitioning to a zero waste lifestyle, there's 2 approaches you can take. One is you can do a trash audit, which would be trash and recycling. You look at both of your cans for the course of a week or whatever period makes sense to you, and look at what's in there. And whatever the biggest offenders are, maybe it's your seltzer bottles, water bottles, it could be some sort of packaging. Look at what those offenders are and start to find ways to replace those items with lower waste things. So especially around food, a CSA or a community share agriculture, like when you get a farm share every week, when you sign up for that, that's really a great way to reduce food packaging. The other way that you can approach zero waste and making changes, and we think this is one of the better ways to do it, is to look at your food. And in particular because plastics are a petroleum-based product. They're full of all kinds of chemicals that allow those plastics to do the things that you want them to do, to be clear or colored, rigid or soft, to be thin or thick and whatever shape, and all those chemicals often leach into the food. So it's a lot of hormone disruptors like bisphenol A, BPA, and even if it says BPA free, it often has another chemical that does that same hormone disrupting thing. So we like to suggest start with your drinking and then your food as the two ways to reduce in your life. So reducing the plastics around what you drink is really hard. So most people go, oh, okay, I'll just stop the water bottles and go to a reusable bottle. Great. But beyond that, when you think about buying milk and juice in those cartons are lined in plastic. When you think about canned foods, cans are lined in plastic. So it becomes a lot more difficult to really get the plastics out of your drinking. The old milkman concept where you're buying milk in a glass bottle works really well. I've started making my own oat and cashew milk. That was the last thing. It took me 5 years to get all the plastics out of my drinking, so it's not easy. But you just do it one bit at a time, and then you move to the foods, less processed foods. Some swaps are easy. Instead of buying ketchup in a plastic bottle, you buy it in a glass bottle. It's pretty doable. So you have to just sort of start down that journey, and the more plastic you get out of your food, the healthier your eating is going to be. And it's not just because the chemicals leach in, but also we know that microplastics are in water bottles, for example. They've tested hundreds of bottles and they found that in like 96%, I'd have to double check the numbers, but it's about 96% of them have microplastics in them, and to a large extent. So you are ingesting less plastics by moving away from plastics around your foods, and you are having less toxins leach in. So don't drink from plastic. Try to reduce the plastic around your food. A couple other tips. Don't handle the heat-generated register receipts. They are covered in bisphenol A. And don't ever microwave or heat your plastics. And think about the foods you're buying, because if those foods are hot when they go into that plastic dish, there's going to be more plastics getting into your foods. As we think about a zero-waste lifestyle, fast fashion is a really detrimental thing to our environment. And it's at all levels. So number one, we are consuming way too much. So consume less is always a great sustainable tip. So with respect to fashion, and I like to think of it not as fashion, but as textiles, so fast textiles. So we are consuming way too many clothes, sheets, towels, etc. We just don't need that many. Number two, the way that the cotton and fabrics are produced. The cotton is a very dirty crop. There's a lot of pesticides. Farmers aren't treated well. It takes a lot of water, over 600 gallons to produce enough cotton to make a men's cotton t-shirt. Then there's the whole carbon footprint. So it's a really big issue. And many of the clothes that we all wear are synthetics, nylon, polyesters, microfibers that are not natural fibers. And those are basically micro and nanoplastics waiting to get into our food stream. So by reducing the fast textiles and using natural fibers, we can really have a big environmental impact. Sustainable Haus is your zero waste refill shop. We are full of home goods, cleaning products, gifty items, and everything is meant to be extremely sustainable. So we are basically plastic-free, package-free, clean ingredients, and the lowest carbon impact we can find. We source a lot of things locally. We make a lot of things ourselves. And we're here in Summit, so we're easy to come visit. We're at 221 Broad Street. We are just outside of the center of town with parking, so it's really easy if you want to bring your own containers in. Just bring them in clean and empty, and you can fill up everything from shampoo, conditioner, laundry detergent, dish soap. You can buy one of our containers if you prefer. And you can also get all your zero waste needs, whether it's everyday napkins that we make or our not paper towel. You can also get really cool items like rock crystal deodorant without any packaging, and reusable cotton ear swabs, and we have a beautiful line of makeup made by Hyssop Beauty in North Jersey. All the packaging on those are glass and reusable, so we just try to really give you really easy options, and if you come in, we can help solve most of your zero waste needs. And we look forward to seeing you. We're also at Summit Farmers Market every Sunday. You can also refill about a handful of products there, from shampoo, conditioner to laundry detergent and dish soap. Hope to see you.